Okay, so here we go. Welcome, everybody, to this week's ToJo. It's been a big time, like a lot of information has been distributed and absorbed, and we are still in the absorption phase right now of all that we had. So, but anyway, for those of you who made it to our town hall, thank you. We hope you got as much out of it as we did. And for those of you who were not able to make it, we hope that you will, as soon as we don't have the link up yet, but we will have the link up for the town hall. We encourage you to watch that. And if you have questions from that, please follow up with us. Ask the questions that you're not clear on. We want to make sure that there's clarity going into this starting on August 17th. Mm-hmm. So we're going to be doing everything we can. We've got some other things, but anyway, that was just awesome. So thank you for coming. And Joe, talk more about this.
So a couple of the really great takeaways I took from that was, one, Brandon's an excellent presenter of the information. I thought he was clear, and it just made so much sense coming from him. Yes. And there was no like, well, what do we do? What do we do? What do we do? It was very clear and concise. So the recording will show that too. And Chris Bishop was also there and just piped in on some things that, it just made it make sense, so that moving forward with this, we here in Utah really aren't going to have as big of a transition as some of those other states and stuff. So I really appreciate them doing that. And also them just kind of comparing like Nevada to Utah, Utah, it's time for us to take Nevada down. No, I'm just kidding. But I think we really could.
Remember, Brandon's on this.
I know. You're right. Well, let's just exceed where they're at and go above it. But one of the things I wanted to say was also if you have a listing right now, so starting Monday, you're going to want to start having this conversation with your sellers about how we need to have them fill out an addendum to the exclusive right to sell listing agreement, just clarifying this information. And Tony and I are going to be here to walk you through that. I'm working on one of those today with one of our agents, because we will need all of our listings that are out there now to have a updated exclusive right to sell listing agreement before August 17th. So we are in compliance with the settlement and with the MLS.
Correct.
So, one of the other things that was with the new listing agreement, there were very few changes made to it. And honestly, it makes it way clearer. So, again, reading it and just knowing your contract is the most important thing. And then on the buyer agency agreement, what I wrote down was know your value. Your commission is your value. So if you're willing to take a little bit lower commission on a buy side or even the seller side, know your value. We need to remember that we're not just there to put it on the MLS and hopefully sell it or show one house to a person and then let it go. But know your value. Those were kind of the big things that I took away from it.
Yeah, that's great. And I as well. And then I had a couple of things that, I know one of the questions we were all asking from early on was, why did the NAR settle? Mm-hmm. Because I think there was a time initially where like, it just felt like they rolled, right? And that, Brandon, I think, did a great job of explaining, there was some significant reasons why they did. First and foremost, what it did is it created an environment where once the settlement was complete, it created some cover for brokerages, and it also eliminated the risk of copycat lawsuits down the road that would not only affect the brokerages themselves, but could ultimately trickle down to where agents could also be sued. And it gave some cover so that we don't have that risk as agents, because that is huge. And I think to your point on the know your value, I think we are so accustomed here in the state of Utah to looking at what is the seller offering. Mm-hmm. And it was made clear, like, look, we need to stop thinking that way about what is the seller offering. And instead, going back to what you said about know our value, is that we need to get into the mindset of going, when we're presenting our offers on behalf of our clients, to what you ask for is what matters. So you've created in this new environment, you will have written an agreement that said, this is what I charge for my services. And so we're going to be having those conversations with the other side that says, we're submitting an offer and this is what I am asking for in regards to a BBC.
Yes.
Okay. So it's not, what are you offering? It is, what am I asking? And again, that comes down to how you value your service and how you communicate your value to your clients.
Yeah. I think we could do even some role play on that, Tony, on the phone, of just calling in. And really, it isn't that, hey, what are you offering? Is the seller offering anything? More of a, and also my buyer agency agreement is at X%.
Right.
And then they can come back and say, excellent, the seller is willing to contribute X towards that.
Yeah.
It's as easy as that kind of a conversation.
It is. It is all about the conversation, and so that was, one of my other takeaways was, in situations like this, there's always the opportunity to learn and grow. And Joe and I have been talking about this actually for a couple of weeks now. And one of the things that we want to do, and we'll talk about this in a bit, but we're going to have a special class just on communication and professionalism. We have some great resources from other agents in our office who have, there's a lot of us that have lives before real estate.
Past lives.
And I think there's some great value to be had. And so we're going to be talking about that later. So anyway, I thought it was really great.
I thought it was great. Right after that, we had Chris Bishop, who was coaching with us. And that was also recorded. So if you're interested in that, that will be posted also. And one of the things I took away from Chris's it was like a little mini coaching session, actually. He really started out right where Tony and I kind of started out with is, what is your schedule and what's on it? And then from there, is it a productive schedule? Is it something that you're sticking to? Is it even something you're acknowledging on a daily basis? And so I really thought that was great. And then also it was just doing the work. He told us about the challenge that he had about telling everywhere he went, he had to let them know he was in real estate and do they have any buyer, seller, investment needs. And so
that was great.
I wrote down, are you letting everyone know what you do? And there's going to be questions out there from part of the population that's like, hey, what about this? But how many times are you going to come across that anyway? Tony and I went to lunch with some lenders, and we sat down at the table, and the waitress came up and asked what she could do for us. And as we were ordering our drinks, I said to her, do you have any buying or selling needs? And they all laughed at me like, I can't believe you said that. But you know what? She didn't take me down. I got a great, Coke out of it. And it's not as hard as it looks.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's funny because the other thing that, thank you, producer. Our producer just reminded us to don't be embarrassed to let people know you're a realtor.
Yeah. It's wisdom.
It
is.
She
just has
absolutely
such great wisdom.
One of the things that I thought was great that Chris also mentioned was, there's two things that we really need to focus on. One, we should always be having our list of things we need to do. Mm-hmm. If it's not on a list, chances are it's not going to get done because it'll likely be forgotten. Mm-hmm. But I like the approach where he said, you should have a list that focuses on your farm. And your farm is really like a longer term approach to your business. Okay. This is how you ultimately fill your pipeline.
Yes.
Okay. And this is the activities that you do consistently over time that's going to build your business. And the reality is we got to eat, right? And so that's where we have to hunt. And hunting is how we deal with the here and now. This is how we get things done now, short term. So that's a short term focus. So if you're working on both of those simultaneously, that is how you're going to build your business both for today and for tomorrow. Okay. And I also thought, the next thing that we're typically going to ask ourselves is, how do we do this? Where do we start? And I loved his point of start small, saturate that business, and then grow over time. Continue to expand as you're building.
Yes.
So I thought it was, great nuggets.
Yeah.
Coming out of his session.
And it didn't have to be expensive.
Right.
It didn't have to be expensive, which I thought was great because a lot of times we get caught up in those moments of, I'm paying this, and this, and really it's what you're putting out is coming back. So even if it is $100 or something like that, or an envelope with a stamp on it to the neighborhood, it's all about the effort of doing, and making the decision to do it.
And if you're wondering what like those hunt things are, those are your open houses, your door knocking, your cold calling.
Yes.
All of those are the things that could create an opportunity to have business literally tomorrow, versus our mailers, our things like that, our CRM activity that is going to keep your sphere in touch over time, that when that opportunity arises, they're going to come back to you.
Yeah. And right now, Tony, right now is an excellent time. Today is August 1st. We are, right? We are starting the 8th month of the year, and we all know that real estate goes in 90-day cycles. So if you start today, by Halloween, what are you going to have on your plate? And then guess what comes up after that? Holidays.
Yep.
And in the words of Chris Bishop, seasonal real estate is BS. So somebody has to be working. People are working. Why not you? So let's get started now. The 90 days starts today, and it should restart every day. You just keep grinding the grind.
Yep. Yeah. Holidays do not dictate the cycle of real estate. Change in people's lives dictates the real estate market. So, if you think it's going to be bad or good, you're right.
Right.
Okay. So let's make it good. All right. What else we got?
Quarterly leaders luncheon.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. What we were really fortunate to have Brandon and Chris here for that. So thank you. We can't shout out enough to them today.
They've been awesome.
Thank you. But we were able to take the second quarterly leaders to Hoof and Vine, and it was phenomenal. The food,
amazing,
out of this world. If you have a chance to go there and just enjoy it, the ambiance was great. The service was great. The food was top notch, and you got sorbet to clean your palate. And
that was awesome.
That's what I'm talking about right there. But it was great. And we did get a picture. We were able to connect agents in the office that had never met, which was wonderful. And hopefully a couple of deals will come out of this. And so the goal should be to go to one of those quarterly leader luncheons. And that really is, it's always a good time.
Right.
Sarah?
Did you not want to talk about how they can become a quarterly leader? What the goal is?
Well, yeah, she makes a valid point. So, one of the things just to get you in the hunt, typically we're looking at, you've got to do at least 3 deals in the quarter. Okay. That is kind of the benchmark that we've set.
Yeah.
So again, do the activities that are going to bring you the business that's going to put you in as one of those leaders. Okay. You all have the leadership abilities to make this as big as you want this business to be. I can't emphasize that enough. Like, just do the work. It's the little things that you do every day, the daily habits that are going to make you successful over time. And we want to see everybody in that leadership luncheon at one time or another.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Just keep building that business. Okay. Yep. So we want to make it so that we have to have it raised to, maybe it's a minimum 4, maybe it's a minimum 5. It's going to be 6.
Yes.
Okay. So let's continue to raise the bar of our organization, because you're all capable.
Absolutely.
That's why you're here. Okay.
Next, we've got some upcoming events. And so we are really going to push this one. And it is our mega event for the office. And right now we have an opportunity for 4 more agents to participate in this. This is a client event. So instead of trying to plan one all on your own and the cost goes up, come in, join with these agents that have already signed up for this. We are going to be doing a movie night on Friday, September 6th at what's Canyon Rim Park, I believe is where we're having it. Yeah, I know. I'm like,
what is that place?
I was going to say Mill Creek, but it's at Canyon Rim Park. It'll be a movie in the park. The movie is going to be The Sandlot. We are going to have pizza, popcorn, drinks, fun. It's going to be a good time.
Food.
And it's going to be an excellent opportunity for you to get your SOI there. And, it's always really good. Tony's had excellent success over the last few years with his events. And this is going to take the place of those and on a much grander scale.
Yeah. And if I can just add, just for context, like to participate in one of these last 4 spots, the cost to you is $550?
$550.
Okay. I can tell you when I do my own events cost me $3,000 to $5,000 to do by myself. So this is a great opportunity to get that big scale, large scale event that gives you amazing credibility as an agent with your sphere, with just a fraction of the cost that it normally would cost you to do that if you did it on your own. Okay. So we've, with our new branding and all this stuff, we thought what a great opportunity to really kick that off and really just set a different tone with how we are as a brokerage. Yeah. Okay. So take advantage of that. 4 spots left.
Yeah. 4 spots. Reach out to Sarah, myself, or Christina Lycon. We'll get you all the details on that.
Awesome. Next Monday, August 5th, that would be this coming Monday, starting at 2:00 p.m., the UAR Forms Update webinar. We will stream that here from the office. So, or you can register online to watch it on your own. But hey, it's great if you're here. We can have some dialogue amongst ourselves as we're going through this. Like, hey, what does that mean? Do we need to talk about it more? Do we need clarifying questions? So we'd encourage you to show up. The more information you have, it's just going to be helpful in making you an even better agent and come out of the block stronger than everybody else.
Yeah. And then after that, on Tuesday, August 6th, we have 10 a.m. We'll have our sales meeting, and that'll go for an hour. And then that night, it's late afternoon, actually. We're calling it the Call and Hustle Your SOI. So Dave Osofsky with Bluefish Home Loans, Dante Escobar with Arbor Financial. They are teaming up to help us. They're going to be here for that event from 3:30 to 5 to answer questions as you're calling your SOI, or maybe you're cold calling, or maybe you're just following up on calls from your open house from this last weekend.
Right.
But that is a good opportunity for us to get together, kind of feel the buzz in the room, and maybe encourage you to make those calls to your SOI. So that's 3:30 to 5 on Tuesday, August 6th.
Awesome. And then if that wasn't enough, Thursday, August 8th, we're going to be doing our signature social night, back by popular demand. It used to be called Wine Down. Now you can come and wine with some wine. Yes. How's that? And honestly, this is a chance to do a couple of things. One, to talk with other agents, to just relax, share your struggles, share your wins, and network with one another, as well as, there could be lenders, there could be, we always leave this open just to have conversation, and just wind down a little bit, talk about it. We're here to support you and to support one another. I mean, I think sometimes it's easy to forget the fact that this is my own business and I've got to protect myself. No, what you have a entire network of agents that are like-minded, that we love nothing more than to see each other succeed.
Absolutely.
And grow. So, come for that. That'll be on the 8th. And we're going to probably around 4:00-ish, I think.
I think we've got it set for 4:30. We'll have
we'll crack it early if you show up at 4.
We'll open a fresh bottle of wine and let it breathe a little early for those of you that might want to show up a little early.
Awesome. And then I think the last thing is, originally we were only going to have one sales meeting in August, but coming out of our town hall this week, Joe and I decided, let's hit it hard right after. So on August 13th, which will be the next week after the forms are officially released, we're going to call it a sales meeting, but it's not going to be your normal sales meeting. Okay. This is literally going to be about our professionalism and communication. So we really want to hammer through, how are we going to communicate both with our clients and with our agents on the other side of a transaction?
Yes.
Okay. And as I mentioned earlier, we have some great resources about what that might look like. And I hope you'll be able to come and attend that, because this is really an open dialogue conversation about how do we do this? How do we handle these kind of objections and things like that, so that you walk away feeling really comfortable at how I'm going to manage my business going forward. Okay. So don't miss that. I think you will find it very valuable.
I think I will find it even valuable too. And the good thing, Tony, is like you were saying earlier, we have people from other industries who have joined our realtor industry, our real estate industry, that come from a little bit more of a corporate type background, but the level of professionalism they had to have in that industry has rolled over into their real estate career too.
Absolutely.
And all walks of life.
For sure. And then I just want to share a couple of things. One is, Joe and I and Sarah have all been working really hard to, bring a different level of value over the last couple of months. And, and I just want to put this out to you guys that if you feel like we are bringing that to you and that you are like excited about what we're bringing, one, we love to hear about that, hear your feedback. And we don't have all the answers.
No.
But we're working on it, right? We're always trying to we're always trying to improve and raise the bar for ourselves so that we can help you guys be better agents. So if you feel like we're doing that, one, I would encourage you to invite other agents that are producing and maybe they're just not happy where they are. They're not getting the level of support that they feel they need. Have them come talk to us. We would love to talk to them and see how we might help them as well. And I will also say, if you feel like maybe we're missing the mark somewhere, we also want to know that. So, we've mentioned pretty much every week, we have the link on Signature Cal to make an appointment with us. Mm-hmm. We encourage you to do that. We want to talk to you. And if you just want some time to talk about goals, things like that, again, schedule it on our calendar so we can focus on the time to meet with you. Yes. Okay. We want to give you our undivided attention for that. So please do. And that's all I got.
That's all I got, Tony. I really just want to say thank you to everyone. I know this week was a full week. We had our town hall meeting. We had dues that were going to be due. It was a lot all at once. And we look forward to debriefing.
Yes.
Really sitting down and debriefing as a team for you so we can bring you guys even more value from your brokerage. So please remember, this is your brokerage and we want to give back to you guys what what you need and suggestions like Tony said, but thank you for the opportunity to do this with you.
Yep. We're excited. All right. ToJo out. The intros are always the hardest.
What do you
But
say?
here we are.
Here we are.
Increase the seconds that the countdown time.
Like what? Like 45 seconds?
Yeah. Probably.
So I can get my stuff together?
Like 5, 4.
Yeah. We need to just...
I don't know how
you need to do that. Haven't you seen...
I wanted to do it, but I'm not going to do it.
Do you remember Wayne's World? When he had the guy with the hair, he had the really long hair and he had the thing on and he was like 5, 4, and then he'd go...
Yeah, that looks like you're like...
I love Wayne's World.
It's a little aggressive.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, good thing you can bleep, and bleepity bleep.
Right. We're just giving you some blooper content.
Do you want that though?
Actually, I do.
Okay. All right.
Because I might get thirsty.
All right. Peace out. A-Town. Down.